Welcome to A Women's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we're tackling Oktoberfest on a budget. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello, hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. So this episode...
Yeah,
all your idea. Like
it was
your brainchild. I was like, yep, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Well, right. So kind of how this happened was like the last few years we've done Oktoberfest and like we've done some type of Oktoberfest thing. And it's kind of like, oh, do we rehash stuff Oktoberfest wise again? How do we want to do it? Schedules for both of us at the moment are just like absolutely mental. So I was like, oh, how are we gonna do this? Because we've got beer. I think we've got beer for each other that we just haven't been able to send across to like marry up with like, you know, the episodes. We're like, oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
I've got flat paddle for you now as well.
Yay! I love it.
Though.
Oh, it's fun.
2 glasses. They stiffed me on the glasses.
I think I've got glasses that fit into that.
Yeah, you should be fine.
Slot.
I'm sure. And I'm sure you will.
I think I do. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's exciting because we will talk about it later in the episode. You did actually go to Germany.
I did.
During Oktoberfest season. So yeah, we will talk about that for sure. But we thought, well, the idea that I came up with and I threw it over to you and you were just like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's go with that. Was cost of living's going up. We know that everyone's kind of like really struggling like financially at the moment. I'm going to caveat this heavily by saying this is not an endorsement. What I'm going to say is not an endorsement of using that as a crutch to not support your independents because they are also really suffering and can use your business. But I also understand that sometimes not everyone can always shop at independents all the time. Some people are not, you know, craft beer is luxury. We talk about craft beer as a luxury.
They cost
luxury prices and they should because that is, you know, quality products. Once you start reducing those prices, it drives all the costs. It's a whole thing that we're not going to get into, and I'm sure somebody's going to have at least 1 or 2 people are going to have a not happy that we're doing this episode. But at the end of the day, like for us, we want to make sure that everyone, that it's equal opportunity. Like we want everyone to have an opportunity with beer, even if you can't afford the luxury item. So I thought, like, what if we just try to showcase what you can actually get at the different supermarkets if you are a person that genuinely is in a situation where you cannot afford to just go out and put a big order in for actual proper Oktoberfest beers or even your friendly, you know, local craft locations. So I thought we'd have this challenge of kind of like going around all the different supermarkets we could just to see what was actually available there and then trying to buy. I set us the goal of trying to buy at least buying one at each supermarket. It was funny. This outcome, we don't know. I will say we don't know what each other got.
No.
We haven't told each other, but I do know what you didn't get.
I struggled. I've got to say I struggled. We did this for you listeners because I spent like 2 hours driving around on a Sunday morning and I got like one thing. I think I'll be interested to like compare our criteria for what we were looking for. I don't drive around to the supermarkets and waste your petrol like I did.
No, I think the thing is
doing this for you, so you know where to go, so you don't waste your petrol.
Meanwhile, I hit a whole bunch in the same day as well, and I ended up with a good, like I had a different experience to you. And I think, to be fair, like back to the whole, we've had the supermarket conversation before about the inconsistencies between like locations. For me, I was quite lucky because I have quite a variety of supermarkets either immediately around me or on my way to work, whereas like you're on your way to work, you don't have that much.
And you know, if you've missed it, dear listeners, I have recently changed where I work.
And you work further away.
I work much further away now. I'm on like a good hour plus drive to work now. And actually, I'm not. Previously, I was right in the centre of town, and I could pop to things. I would literally go past supermarkets on my way home. I don't do that anymore. And I live out in a village. I have supermarkets around, but they are a drive to get to. So if you are in a similar situation to me now, where you don't have a lot of supermarkets around and you do want to pop in somewhere and get something, do your research first, listen to what we've got to say, and you're just going to minimize your travel to get what you need.
I think that's partially why we kind of wanted to do this as well,
Yeah.
is because if you are a person that is struggling in a financial way, like where maybe you're set for groceries and everything, but buying beer is a luxury and you have to do it at a supermarket, we still want you to have like a decent experience. If you want to be able to like celebrate October, like if you want to throw your own Oktoberfest party at your house, like even just for you and your partner, something to do to kind of like help combat the cost of going out and everything. Like, again, I'm sure people are going to have a go at us for being like, don't encourage people to stay at home. But the reality is not everyone can afford to do that. If you can afford to do it, great, happy days. It is a balance. It is a balance. And as things get more expensive and the weather gets more disgusting and people don't go out as much and they make sure when they go out, it really counts. The times that you are stuck at home, we want you to have the best experience possible. So we're hoping that what we've collated today for you could be a good, somewhat guide for at least if you're wanting a few beers, so you can have a few beers at home and celebrate Oktoberfest in your own way with pretzels and whatever else. You can not waste all your time, or at least, like I said, if we know that one supermarket's really close to you, maybe this can at least help you know what you're looking for. So I think what's quite important is, so to help with a breakdown of how we chose to do our selections, Jo, do you want to kind of give a quick TLDR of sort of the big 6 German breweries and all that?
So Oktoberfest, there are 6 main breweries that are allowed to sell their beer at Oktoberfest, because they are Munich breweries, and Oktoberfest is in Munich in Germany, if you didn't know that. Those big 6
to our other episodes. We'll link the other episodes.
We'll link the other episodes if you want to go back in. We've talked about the history of Oktoberfest. We talked about different types of beer from Oktoberfest, but we'll rehash a little bit of it here. So the big 6 breweries are Augustiner, Hacker-Pschorr, Lauenbrau, Paulaner, Spaten, and Hofbrauhaus. Now, we decided to look for these breweries, and that's where I came unstuck.
That was like we'll break it down to how our minds worked after. But
that's where I came unstuck. Was this big 6 breweries. Then I started looking for Oktoberfest beers. So when a brewery says Oktoberfest, it's usually going to be either a fest beer, which is a paler, slightly more bitter beer that is very drinkable, or it's going to be a Marzen, which is a more amber beer, slightly sweeter, slightly more kind of bready and toasty, maybe a little bit of caramel. That's my favorite. Go back and listen to the other episodes about my bee in my bonnet about those 2, because at this time of year, breweries will say they've brewed one and actually it's the other. And I get very upset about it. But because I want Marzens, I want all the Marzens, but I'm not a big fan of fest beers. Anyway, I was looking for those. And that's very difficult in a supermarket in the UK. But you could also look for other German beer styles. So you could look for Weiss beer, which is a German wheat beer. You could look for Kolsch, Berliner Weiss, alt beer. You are not going to get. Did you get an alt beer? You didn't get an alt beer.
I don't think so.
No, alt beer is really like when I was doing my old certified Cicerone over there, trying to find an alt beer to try so that you know what an alt beer is like. That was really difficult. Just even in your European beer shops and in your independent beer shops, it was difficult to find an alt beer. So if you can find an alt beer in a supermarket, let us know, because you're doing a good job. You could also look for Schwarzbier, Dunkel, Doppelbox, Rauch beers, Helles, Pilsners, pretty much any German beer that you fancy. But it depends on how authentic you want to be with your Oktoberfest. I would probably, what I was looking for was a Marzen, a Fest beer, maybe a Helles.
So I would
what
say,
were you looking for?
So I had sort of like a tiered list of like, here's what I was doing first. If that failed, go for the next. If that failed, go for this. If that failed, grab the closest thing. And if they didn't have any of that, then go. So it started big 6. Like, can you find a big 6? Like, if I couldn't find a big six, the next was again similar to you, kind of like the Fest beer, the Mars, and like that, which I knew was going to be very, very difficult. If I didn't find those like first few main ones, then it was just like anything that was in that category of all the styles that you just listed. What I did do, and I'm fairly certain I achieved it unless I missed something when I was going through labels, was I did make sure that kind of like the ones I was getting they were brewed in, they were either very specifically like that style or brewed in Germany. Like if it is a bigger brewery, I mean, I don't, some like a lot of these I don't actually
they could
know.
be.
So they could be like, they might not be craft, like some of them they might not. I didn't actually go and like do a deep dive into it. I just kind of like looked and was like, okay. A lot of them, which you'll see, spoiler alert, a lot of the ones I got as well I will have picked because I saw like it's brewed in Germany, it's a style that is within all those you just listed, and it said on it like, you know, brewed with the German purity laws, and I was like,
oh, that's a good one.
yeah.
Definitely looking for. So if dear listeners, you're going German purity law, what are they talking about, and you haven't
to our other episodes
heard us talk about this, head over to that. But the Reinheitsgebot is the German purity law, which they still abide by today, actually. Interesting. I was at a trade fair in Germany, and brewers are asking about products that can be added to beer, and does it fit within the Reinheitsgebot, and are they allowed to use it? Because if it doesn't fit in with the 4, now it was originally 3, but 4 main ingredients of hops, water, and malt, and then yeast, when they realized that that's what was causing the fermentation, then they weren't allowed to add it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, some of them are kind of where that played into there as well. Was I like looked at that, I was like, okay, so like I'm taking the fact that, I mean, we're at a supermarket, I'm taking the fact that like the reality is the majority of mine probably won't be considered craft. I don't know, I was just trying to do my very best to leave that store with something, and it was just a bit of fun, like of the challenge of like find the best thing. But I will say with mine, I set a goal for myself to get 0 duplicates.
Oh, well done.
So that was some of like, as we go through, we're gonna basically, what's gonna happen is we'll just go through like shop by shop to see what we could find, and then if we pick something, like, you know, what did we pick? I was determined to not leave a shop without something. and we also made notes of everything else that could potentially fall into like something you could get as well, but we only really bought one. And I strategically picked some of mine, which you'll see why, because I was like, I'm not getting duplicates. And it will become clear as we start going through them. So shall we just kick things off, I guess? So the first one was Waitrose.
So Waitrose was my most successful.
Okay.
Well, depends on how we look at it.
Okay.
So I've been to several shops before I got to Waitrose. I went to a little Waitrose that's in the village near where I work now, which is a bit of a pain to get to, so I won't be doing that again. But I didn't get any of the big 6 from Waitrose. We thought Waitrose would be like,
we did
the best because they
normally
usually got a really good range. Didn't get any of the big 6.
I want to know if we get any of the exact same ones at the exact same store.
I went by the time I got to Waitrose, I was like, I'm going to end up with no beers. So I went completely off piste.
Okay.
I went completely off piste, and I bought. It's not made in Germany.
Okay.
I bought Crumb's Blooming Amber Lager. Because I figured that was actually closest, and it was discounted. Because I figured that was the closest I was going to get to a Marzen. So this is an amber lager.
The one thing we didn't do, it's not like I will, with anyone watching this video that sees the reduced sticker on it, the one thing we didn't try to do that no one can get angry about us was we definitely didn't try to find the cheapest. Like, we weren't here looking for the cheapest one.
No, and it was literally the last one on the shelf, and I was like, amber lager, yes, give me some of that. And it was reduced. It's normally £2, but it was £1.55.
What?
So, you know, bargain, I thought. Not made in Germany though.
No.
And it's made with leftover bread. So, you know.
Positive thing though, isn't it? That's positive.
No big 6 in Waitrose. Don't know what you found. What did you get from Waitrose?
Would you want to say? Do you want to say what else you? Maybe I'll
What else
say
I
which
looked
one I
at?
bought, and
Yeah.
then we can say which else is there,
Yeah.
in case that what I bought was
Yeah.
actually there. So it's the one that I just went and grabbed out of the fridge before we started recording. You averted your eyes. It is one that was also not brewed. This is probably the one that was not brewed in Germany.
Yeah.
And it is Lost and Grounded's Helles.
So I put those on the list, right? So this is my list.
I was wondering if we might end up with the same one.
So that was nearly there, and then that's when I saw the amber lager, and I was like, that's a bit more. So
if you name something and I've got it, I'll say I've got it as well, just to stop duplication.
So things that I thought you could get in Waitrose, there are no big six in Waitrose.
I thought you'd get at least one big six.
I thought we would too, and we didn't.
Because it does tend to be a bit more like, I don't know, my Waitrose has changed recently. And my Waitrose used to be like really, really good. And then they sort of like moved things around. And now it's just like, fine. Like there's good stuff there, but also like not as much, I think, imported stuff as they used to. Actually, saying that, I feel like a lot of these shops had lots of like Belgian beers.
Lots of Belgian beers.
I was like, for fuck's sake, it's not a Belgian episode.
Not where we wanted. We were going to Germany. We were not going to Belgium. But at this point, I was then starting to be like, right, well, what other German beer can we get? Because I was quite specific in, I was looking for the Big Six and Festbier Marzen.
So if you didn't, so basically, just to set the scene here, because I know you bought one that kind of wasn't any of those.
Yeah.
For the other shops, and that was kind of because you're like, this was your last port of call. The other shops, if there wasn't the Big Six or those main styles, did you just not go with anything?
I just didn't get anything. I was like, if there's none of those, none of
I was determined I put myself in the mindset of like, if I'm a person that needs something, I'm leaving.
But I was like, it's Oktoberfest. If I'm doing Oktoberfest, I want a Festbier, I want a Marzen, I want one of those breweries. And if I don't get that, then it's not Oktoberfest. And then I started being like, okay, I'm not going to get anything. So I better start widening my horizons, which is when the amber lager got bought. But also, you could buy, these are German beers or German beer styles. So you could get, they have Franziskaner.
I got that as well. Yeah.
I didn't buy Franziskaner because I don't like it. Not one of my faves. Okay. You could get Erdinger. I do like a bit of Erdinger. They also have Erdinger Dunkel.
They also had that in mind as well.
Yeah. Then you could get a 4-pack of Grolsch. Not my fave. Probably wouldn't, but you know, if you really wanted something German, you could get some Grolsch. They got fun bottles, you know.
That reaction of like, it probably wouldn't.
I probably wouldn't.
I really wanted to.
If if you were desperate, you could get some Grolsch.
If you really wanted to make this happen.
Right. We're getting desperate now. We've only got Waitrose. These
are just, please, like, if you really love these beers, like, these are just this is
our personal opinion. My personal opinion,
yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of Grolsch, but you know, it's German and it's there if you want it for your Oktoberfest party. Options that are not German but could work. Peroni, yes, I understand that they're Italian. Their Grand Reserve Rosso is a Vienna style lager and it is quite lovely. So, you know, Marzen was based off of Vienna lager. So
is that Peroni the ones that are in the fancy
bottles?
See, we have those. I didn't note that down on mine because I didn't even think about that.
Not German.
But I didn't even, I tried to make sure I got every single thing German or not that would fit sort of their overall, just to give options. And that's one that just didn't even cross my brain. I was like, oh, it's Peroni. Oh.
Yeah, the Grand Reserve Rosso is a Vienna style lager. So you could go with that.
I've had it and it's actually nice.
It is good. It is good. You know, I know it's Peroni, not craft, but it's tasty.
It is tasty. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And it's in the supermarket.
I had it at a restaurant and I was like, yeah, I'm actually surprised.
Waitrose are selling them for £2.60. So, you know, there you go. And then, of course, Lost and Grounded's Helles and their Keller Lager are both available in Waitrose.
So the Keller Lager, I noticed that you could get a 4-pack of the 330ml, and I'd never seen sort of the 4-packs of the small ones before out and about. So I thought that was quite cool. So if you're kind of £7.50 for the 4-pack of 330, so I guess like if you're looking to kind of get multi-packs of things, that's probably the best one to go. But I got the Lost and Grounded 440ml, the one 440 ml for £2.75. And I don't know about the pricing at yours, but the Dunkel was £2.25 for 500 ml, and the Franziskaner was £2 for 500 ml.
Same.
Again,
and
we're not suggesting the lowest price is the best price by any means, but if you have the financial means to go buy independent, go and do that. You can listen to this for fun, but we're not targeting you with your wallet. This is just for a bit of fun. You can hear us being dicks, but you are probably not the target audience who's going to gather anything particularly interesting. So yeah, I mean, all those ones, mine had less than yours. To be honest, I quite literally just had the Lost and Ground of the Dunkel and the Franziskaner. Like that's it, and it had obviously the 4-pack, like I said, of the Keller and the Peroni as well, but that I didn't note that down. So it sounds like yours maybe had a little bit more selection than mine did.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Waitrose. Still didn't get what I wanted, but there were options outside of my very strict remit that would have worked.
I don't know if you're gonna drink yours. I'm not gonna drink mine because
I'm gonna drink this one.
I'm gonna say I've got other ones that I'm gonna crack open now. I want to save this one for like when I actually start Oktoberfest drinking. I'm trying to save all the ones that I'm like, yeah, I really, really want that one.
And we are big fans of Lost and Grounded as well. So
yeah. And I was like, so what I will say is like kind of the logic behind why I chose that one was that I kind of wanted to like show that even if you are on a budget and you are relying on the supermarkets, you can still get good craft beer that will qualify for this. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know, something that's like big beer. Like, you don't have to go to that if you don't want to. Like, obviously, again, it's probably, you know, as said, it's, you know, £2.75 compared to like Franziskaner, that's £2. So like, it is a little bit more. Will you get a bit more for that? Like, it's up to you and your taste buds, really. But
and different types of beer as well. It depends on what you want to drink.
Absolutely. But I kind of wanted to showcase like you can get that craft option. And strategically, I thought probably not going to get Lost and Grounded anywhere else. And I definitely wanted to get at least one craft option. So.
And if I hadn't have seen the amber lager, I was gonna pick up Lost and Grounded. I was like, Lost and Grounded. Oh,
I picked it up and I was like, I'm gonna get this because I all the reasons I just said. And I was like, I wonder if Joe's gonna get this one as well. But so that was another thing of like, we didn't kind of say at the start, I don't think we didn't tell each other. Like didn't tell you, we the whole point was like, go out and buy one beer that fits that of every place you can, and don't tell the other person, and just bring it back and see what we managed to come back with. Because I didn't want it to be like we start going, oh, I got this here, and then it's influenced how somebody, like how you would have got yours, or I've seen what you've got and I've gone, oh no, maybe I don't want this one. So it's hopefully a good variety. We'll see.
we will see. Yeah.
Yes. So the next place that I've got noted down, because I just happened to like write, because obviously I did the outline, I just wrote it down the order of the stores I went to. So Co-op was next for me. Literally, it's on my high street. I could walk there in 5 minutes, and normally I was kind of expecting it to be absolutely atrocious, because my Co-op especially is just not particularly good with beer. So what I managed to get, I was a little bit surprised actually. I got 2 at Co-op. Only because it was like 2, like it was in a 2 for £4.20, and so I was kind of like, oh, it feels dumb to buy one, I'll get 2. So I got the ABK Hell.
Oh,
so it's Helles, Munich Helles.
Yeah, mine definitely doesn't have that.
Yeah, so it was this and the Warsteiner.
Okay, yep.
And that one is, it says brewed according to German purity law, and I think it's just might be a lager, I think.
Pilsner?
I think Pilsner, yeah. Yes. I was like trying to think, I was like, it could be a Weiss beer, but I don't think it is. Yes. No, but it is a family tradition since 1753. So yeah, it was a brewed according to the German purity law, which is why I picked that one. And yeah, this was, Yeah, brewed traditionally using only the finest barley malt, hops, and pure water. Yeah, Bavarian brewing tradition and heritage. So I was like, I've definitely seen these in like smaller bottles before, but this one is, I think, 660 mil for the ABK, and the other one I think also actually is 660 mil. Yeah, 660 mil. So I was like 2-4. In my opinion, this is showcasing like what you can get if you really want to go on a budget. But I'm not actually all that disappointed. So I will probably crack open the Warsteiner because I just was like, I've not actually seen this, and I thought I'll try it. And this one I have seen before and I'm going to save this one. What did you find?
Ironically, I have Co-op is the closest to me, and I didn't get there.
Hilarious. I am also going to drink mine out of my I think it's my cloud water glass. I think it's a cloud water one, and it's got like a little cat pretzel. So it's called cat. It says Oktoberfest. Makes me giggle. So I'm just going to pour this one now and have this. So what I did find is, just out of what you could and couldn't have, at my Co-op anyways, you had a Franziskaner, which was £2.20 for a 500ml bottle. Warsteiner, which, so the two for £4.20, both of these two on their own obviously were £2.50. There was the Erdinger, not the Dunkel, the other one, that was £2.20 for the 500ml. And then you had Kronbacher Pils, which is a 660ml for £2.50. So those were kind of like the only ones that I noted down that could also be utilized if you wanted to. Whether or not there were some other ones like Peroni that I didn't catch,
I don't think I've ever
didn't
seen that
think
in
about
Co-op.
it, but I've only ever seen it in Waitrose. But I mean, there might have been other ones similar to that I completely missed. I don't know, but those are the ones that I captured, and I've got a pretty shitty Co-op. So it would be interesting to see, like, if you do go to your Co-op, to see what you have at yours. So I'm not gonna lie, this smells like a Heineken.
Well, I didn't buy. I did see.
No, but this is it. Is I'm like
in places, and I didn't buy it.
But this is the thing. Is I'm like, I would buy it because now I'm going to try it, and I'm going to say how it actually. Because I think the whole point is I buy them, I'll take a sip, and then I'll go spend that £2, or don't spend that £2.
I can say the Blooming Amber lager is quite delicious.
Oh, it tastes better than it smells.
Oh, does it? Oh, that's good.
No offense to Heineken, but it smells like it smells like a Heineken, but like not the kind of Heineken you get when you're in Amsterdam and it's like like right at Heineken. Like it's like, it smells like when you go to a pub and there's stale beer on the tables, but not in like a good way. It's not terrible. Actually, when you smell it up close, it's not too bad, but from a distance, it's a bit like, oh no.
Oh dear. Maybe don't buy Warsteiner for your
Oktoberfest. It doesn't actually, like I said, when you taste it, it doesn't taste bad. And I think if you're not used to drinking like the Oktoberfest beers, and you are used to drinking a bit more like big beer, you'll probably not mind it, if I'm honest. I don't think it's terrible, but would I spend my personally, would I opt for this over just spending a little bit more and putting in a bigger order? Probably just go independent, but that's me, and I can say that. So cool. Next one, actually, let's the one I was going to do next, I'm going to skip that. I'm going to put a different one in because I was going to drink one from there as well, so I might as well finish this amazing stein. So we go to B&M. I did not go to B&M. No. So I know you did, so I will let you have the reins while I drink this amazing beer.
Yeah, but I managed to get to B&M, and I seemed to find the only B&M that had no beer in it. Instead, I bought lots of Halloween decorations.
Is that when you? Yeah. Well, you can tell the story of you driving all around, and then.
So I went to Sunday morning, because I was going off to Germany, so I had to fit it in. So this one Sunday morning, I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and I'm just going to hit up a whole bunch of places and see what I can find. I drove over to, and like trying to work out because I where I am, I've got Canterbury one way and Dover the other. So I could and they've like the supermarkets are in various different spots around both of those locations. So I was like, right, I think the best way to hit up as many as possible, head out to Dover. I went to Morrison's, I went to Asda, I looped back round, I went to Aldi, B&M, Tesco's, and then came home. And I got one beer out of that trip.
But then you got home and you went, but it's okay, I got these.
But it's okay, I got one. And then I then did I then went another day and did Waitrose and Sainsbury's on the way home. But yeah, it wasn't a great loss because I went to B&M. They had, for some reason, there was no beer section whatsoever in this B&M, but I did get lots of lovely Halloween decorations.
Yeah, like I don't think I didn't go to B&M because I think I told you when you were like, oh, I'll go to B&M. I just know B&M when it comes to beer is just being a massive joke. So I kind of was like, I want to go just hilariously to see what beer is there, but it's so far away. Like it is a solid, like, I think the closest one is a solid like 25, 30 minutes. I think Reading is my closest one and I have to go into Reading to get to it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not, it's out of my way to even go to work. So I was like, yeah, I don't know if I'll get to that one, but I really want to know what's there. But I actually think that B&M doesn't even have beer either. Yeah, but so you see all these like all these people posting about like, I got this beer at B&M, and then you're just like, oh god, how long has that just been sat there in like a in like a bucket? Like what are those
like back in the day before we had so many options, you used to be able to get the odd interesting thing there, but not anymore.
I just think it would be interesting to have seen like what it would have been. It would have been an interesting challenge, but I think with you being so strict on yourself, you definitely weren't. There was no way I was getting anything. But with me being more like find something, I could have maybe left with something. I don't know, but yeah. If we go to the next one, well, I continue to say this. I will weigh in actually. It really isn't actually that bad, this, the Warsteiner. Like it's actually not so bad. What it reminds me of, I still wouldn't be like, oh, this is amazing, I would definitely drink this all day. But you know, I wouldn't go buy it to go drink it for my own Oktoberfest party, but it does have that similarity to like if you're going to one of those big local Oktoberfest parties. Like I'm going to one, we bought tickets
and you get steins of
work, and you get steins of German lager, beer.
And it's not and it's not a stein because it's made out of glass and it's just lager.
We know that now, guys. We know that now. We will never make that mistake again. It definitely it tastes like one of those like steins of German beer. Yeah, like you'll be treated to steins of German beer, but like it doesn't say like what it is. It's just like
just German
here's
beer.
A lager, and it doesn't even tell you like what type of lager. It's just like lager.
Is it Helles? Is it a Pilsner?
Like, it'll be like you've got two options.
Lager.
You can have lager, or you can have, and they'll be like, it won't even be like a Weiss beer. It'll be like something else. It'll be like, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just have the lager.
Yeah.
And that's what it tastes like. It's not offensive by any means.
It tastes like lager.
And yeah, lager. It tastes like a German lager.
And as we all know, that is a very large umbrella.
I will say, the amount of people that I have served beer to, this is like total tangent, but this will be just while I drink my drink of German lager. I'll tell you this little tangent. It's really funny the amount of people that I've served beer to that have come up and said, oh, what do you have? And it's you know, it's obviously not it's been at events where it's not really like craft beer people or anything like that, and like that's fine, there's no judgment, no shade, whatever. But it does make me chuckle when you have someone that comes up that's like, what do you have for beer? And they're like, oh, I've got a few different ones. What are you into? Like, what do you normally drink? And they're like, oh, do you have a lager? And you go, oh yeah, I've got a Pilsner. And they're like, do you have a lager?
Yeah. You're like, yes, that's a lager.
Yeah, we've got the Pilsner. and it has made me chuckle on numerous occasions when you've said that. We've gone, oh, is this a Pilsner? And they're like, but do you just have a lager though? And you're like, yes, this one, and then you can kind of tell they don't quite get it, and they go, oh, okay, I'll have that, and you're like, okay, good choice.
It's gonna taste the way you want it to. It's fine.
It will taste how you want it. Don't worry. Right, next one. I'm still skipping the next one I was going to do. We'll go Tesco. Do you want to lead the way with your Tesco options?
Way big six.
Mine didn't have any of that.
Did you not have
for anyone's not watching the video.
I have a Paulaner Münchner. It's a Helles lager. Did yours not? Mine has always got.
Nope. Mine has never had. My Tesco, really good at Belgian beer. I've got a big Tesco as well.
Oh.
Really actually decent in terms of like imported beers. Most of them are Belgian.
Oh, interesting.
Lots of Belgian beers.
I knew that if I could get nothing else, I could get Paulaner in Tesco's. But it's
was
still
that your strategy then of like, I will get the Paulaner.
I will just get that.
Was it like, I know, because like for me in that situation, if I knew that I was guaranteed to get that, I would be like, I'll get that here, because then if someplace else has something different, I'll get the other one.
Yeah, I was like, I'm picking that up because it's the big six, Paulaner. It's not an Oktoberfest beer per se, but it is a German beer. It's made by one of the Munich brewers. So, ta-da! I like to use it as a good example of a malt forward beer as well. If you are learning about your beers.
Nice. So again, I bought two. One because I was like, it'll be funny actually in a minute when you see other things I bought and the logic I put behind it. But what I bought first and foremost was the Erdinger Dunkel.
Ah, yes.
Because I really, really like this one. I really love a Dunkel. So I was like, I need to get that. And I was thinking I might not get that anywhere else actually, because it used to be really, really hard to find. So I was like, I'm going to get that. And I got that for £1.80, I think it was. Oh no, yeah, £1.80 for a 500ml bottle, which is good. And then I also got this one.
Oh, you got a Schofferhofer.
Yeah, I was gonna say Schofferhofer, then I was like, I'm gonna trip over my own tongue. So I will caveat of every time I mispronounce something on this, even things I know how to say, it's normally because I'm trying to read and think at the same time while also knowing that I'm on camera and my brain shuts down. So I was like, I don't want to say it because it's gonna come out stupid. But yeah, I got the Hefeweizen grapefruit.
I don't think my Tesco's has those.
I had never seen it before.
Morrison's usually has them.
I genuinely had never seen them in any supermarket before that I'd seen. So I got it and it's 500ml and it's like, it doesn't feel like it's as big as it is. But yeah, it's quite big, £1.90. I've had it before. I know it's good. And I had to get it as well in addition because I was like, I wanted to showcase the fact that you can kind of find like, yes, this is maybe not the traditional style, but like if you're looking to like have something a bit different, a bit interesting, it's only 2.5%. So like if you want to keep it like a little bit lower, but still have some alcohol, like it's refreshing. It's quite nice. It's a way to sort of mix up the flavors, so to speak.
And do you know what? A Radler will get you out of your hangover.
Oh yeah.
Having had a couple of Radlers last week when I was in Germany, we were just like, how are we feeling? Oh, we're getting a Radler.
I 100% remember like working at a beer festival and being like the next morning, it was like a few days in a row, and the next morning being like, what are we gonna do? Okay, let's just have one of those. And it wasn't bad. It was
a Radler will see you right.
Only positives. What else did you manage to find
in Tesco's? So if you've got a club card,
I always forget my club card.
You can do all right in Tesco's. If you can't keep remembering,
I have
the card,
one, but I don't.
Get the app on your phone, girl. You can do it that way. Come on, get with the 21st century. I'm
such a boomer.
So my Paulaner was £2. It's 500ml. You can get Warsteiner there, £2.20. They also have the Erdinger non-alcoholic for £1.50. I've heard good things about the non-alcoholic Erdinger, so even if you want to cut back on your alcohol intake, you can still partake in a little bit of German beer there for you. Now at my Tesco's, the Erdinger Dunkel was £2.20. The regular Erdinger was £1.80, and you could get 4 for £6.
Yep, I had the exact same. Tick that box.
And you can get Franciscana 4 for £6 at Tesco's as well.
Did you say you get Franciscana for £6? Oh, four for £6. I thought you said 1 for £6. I was like, oh yeah, mine was the same, £1.80 or 4 for £6. Yeah. Or
do you have a little mix of Erdinger and Franciscana?
This is without the club card. At ours, it was just 4 for £6. Like, you didn't have to have a club card for that. I'm trying to think what else. You said you got the alcohol free. We had the alcohol free at mine as well, £1.50 for 500 ml. We also had, and I didn't get the price on this because I think it was in the wrong section. I couldn't find the right label for it. We had the alcohol free grapefruit, which I hear is really, really good.
Oh, the shop.
And that was in a 4-pack. No, the Erdinger alcohol free.
Oh,
grapefruit. Oh. Mm-hmm. They have the alcohol free, which I do have, but it's not here because I didn't buy it for this. I just had it, and it's somewhere else. I haven't tried it yet. I bought it because I wanted to try it. But they had a 4-pack, smaller cans, obviously, smaller bottles, but it's grapefruit alcohol free, which I think Emmy said was one of the best ones that she had at the supermarkets, I believe, for alcohol free.
Nice.
For supermarket ones, I think it was.
Yeah.
We also had at mine the Kronbacher pills, which was £2.20 or 3 for £5. There was Veltin's Pilsner, £2.50 or 3 for £5. And then the Warsteiner, £2.50 or 3 for £5.
There you go. Isn't it interesting how you get the mixture of different availability and different prices as well? We're not that far away from each other either. And
it's meant to be like, surely it's meant to be offering like price parity. Unless maybe the labels, unless the prices had just changed over and we were on different days or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe, I don't know, I looked at the wrong label, or I don't know. But
supermarket disparity. Pay attention to that as well, dear listeners.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is like, if you just notice as well, like for me, I would probably say that out of all the shops that I went to, there's not really a spoiler alert, but I mean, you can tell by all the things I just listed off in addition to what you had as well. Tesco probably had if you were looking for the most variety of German beer, that I think Tesco for me probably was it. That would probably give you the most variety. I'm not necessarily saying the best price point or the best quality, full stop, but like, if you just strategically wanted to have 5 or 6 different options, I would say Tesco is probably out of all of them for me where you'd get it. But then for you, like, you had a handful of them, but you might have had another supermarket that actually had more.
I think Waitrose had a more interesting selection, but it depends on what you want and where 100%. You're shopping. Like, you don't want to have to go out of your way if you're doing your shopping already to have to go somewhere else, and depends.
Oh, completely. So the next one, before we have like a little gap break where you can tell us about Germany, is Lidl. Did you manage to get to Lidl?
Lidl is in a really weird place. Like, it's right through the centre of town and through all the traffic, so I did not get to Lidl.
It is so mine is literally right across from the Co-op, which is a 5-minute walk from my house. So I kind of went from one to the other, and I do think it probably looked a bit weird that I bought one. I literally went into the supermarket and bought one bottle of beer, and this was during a lunch break, so they probably thought that I was just really incredibly fucking awkward, like couldn't wait, like it was 12 o'clock, gotta get on it, like. So from Lidl I bought a Weiss beer that is called Patronus. And I bought it because if you watch the video, it kind of looks like a shitty Franciscana.
It does. It really
looks like it wants to be Franciscana, but it's not.
Franciscana knockoff.
And I was like, I'm curious just to know. I'm going to open this one because I was like, I'm curious just to know how it actually tastes, because that's why I bought it, because there was also, this one was, how much was it? £1.25 for 500 mil. So like this was part of the experience as well. As I was like, on this episode, I'm going to drink some of the cheaper ones because I just want to know how terrible it is, or maybe like pleasantly surprised by it, because then maybe you'll go, oh, that's a bargain. I'll go to that one. I don't know, but I don't have high hopes for these. But the only other one that you could get that would tick any type of box was you could get Franciscana. 500 mil for £1.69. So yeah, I went with the knockoff.
Nice.
Franciscana. And I thought, I've never seen this before. This is probably like very specific to Lidl. I'm sure somebody will like at me and be like, are you kidding me? Patronus is the bee's knees and you can get it anywhere or something. But that's the logic behind why I picked that one. I'm going to crack this open. While I actually enjoy this before I start moving on to something else and then have to crack that open, do you want to give us a bit of a whistle-stop tour about your experience actually in Germany at Oktoberfest?
Yes. So, well,
way more interesting.
I didn't do kind of a full Oktoberfest experience because we didn't think we were going to go.
It started off you going, oh, we couldn't get into Oktoberfest, and the next thing I know, I've got a photo of you sending a.
So here's the thing, right?
At Oktoberfest, I was like, I thought you weren't going to Oktoberfest.
Right. So here's the thing, right? I've never done like any real research around going to Oktoberfest, because I've never planned to go. And then I went to Germany with work. We were touring some people around Germany. We tried to get tickets. But I was told we tried to get tickets for Oktoberfest and we couldn't get them. So we booked a Bavarian beer festival experience instead, which was fun. It was fun. It was at a bar in Munich. It was great. But the way that I've always heard about Oktoberfest is, there's the 6 tents. You have to have a ticket to be able to sit in the tents. Blah blah blah. What I didn't realise is that basically Oktoberfest is like just a giant big old fair and you can just walk in.
Yeah, so what I've heard guidance-wise, like from the people I know that have gone, have been like, you want to book the big tents because the big tents are the ones that you queue for. Like you can get in, but you queue for them. So it's like book the big tents and spend your time at the smaller tents.
I didn't get even queue to get into the tent.
Yeah, but was that because you were with work?
No, you can just walk in. You can just walk into the tents. You can't sit down at a table, but you can just wander through and have a look. And they are spectacular. Like I only got in the Schwarten tent and it was amazing. Like it's beautifully decorated. Like there's these massive pieces of art. Like everyone's dressed up. Everyone's having an amazing time. There's music playing. Like you can just walk through the tent and see what's happening. A couple of people that we knew had got onto tables somehow. You can slip onto tables if you get there at the right time. A few of us stood there. We went upstairs and a waitress was just like, oh, some people are leaving. I'll get you a table in like 2 minutes. And we were like, oh, okay. So we like waited and she was like 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. For half an hour it was 2 minutes and then we went, yeah, no, we're going. She kept like this waitress just
like,
being
oh, amazing, 2 minutes, that's great.
Leaving in like 2 minutes, and we stood there and then she's like, no, they're just leaving. They weren't leaving. I think part of a group left and the rest stayed on the table.
She was probably hoping they were all going, and
they weren't, and it was fine. Like, I mean, she was still making money. She was still happy. But yeah, you need to be, if you want to sit down at a table,
drink
in
if
the
you're
tent,
not at the table. Or is it very difficult?
We didn't get served, so I don't think so. I think you have to be at a table. But you can just walk around Oktoberfest. You can just wander around. It's like a big old fair. We found a Weiss beer garden that was lovely, and we just drank big old glasses of
Patronus. Big old glasses of Patronus.
Big old glasses of Weiss beer. It was Paulaner Weiss beer.
Oh, don't lie.
And I had
this amazing.
It was not
Patronus.
How did it taste?
I'll give you an update. It smells banana-y.
Okay, good.
So that I was like, okay, there's a bit spicy, like a
Mhm.
bit spicy banana. So I was like,
Yeah, that's what we
okay,
should be expecting.
yeah.
Good
I was
stuff.
like, I was thinking like, cool, step
It
one,
looks a little
good.
bit hazy.
It
Looks a
is
bit
hazy. It's a
got
hazy
wheat in
bullet.
it.
You
Good
cannot
stuff.
see through the other
Yep.
side. So it's like, cool. If
Looks
you're
the way
watching
it's
the video,
supposed to. Smells
the
the way it's
head's
supposed
quite
to.
good. Like, look at that. Like,
Yeah,
that's
head is
good.
lasting quite
Head
nicely.
retention and the lace in there. That's good.
Yeah,
Happy
good
days.
stuff.
Taste wise, if you don't like Paulina, I don't think you're gonna like this because it tastes very like not Paulina. Sorry,
Franciscana.
Yeah, Franciscana. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
just you said Paulina, and that's
Yeah.
in my head. You don't like Franciscana, you're not gonna like this because it's very Franciscana.
Yeah,
Maybe it just needs to be a little bit colder because it's been sat out for like a little bit now.
That real like overripe banana flavor. Because that's what I don't like about Franciscana.
Yeah, a bit. I mean, I think it's like if you like Franciscana, I actually think that you probably would like it. And I don't dislike it. I think it's fine. But I think I'm pleasantly surprised in that for the fact that it was £1, whatever it was. I don't actually think it's terrible. Like it's £1.25. Like for that price, would I put it in the same quality as like, you know, a proper one?
Right.
Like probably not, but maybe that's just me being a snob. I don't know. But is it very drinkable? And comparatively to the Warsteiner, like it is much better. But obviously they're different styles, so it's going to depend on I think it's going to depend on like what you normally like to drink as well. So like my friend really likes Franciscana. I think he would really like that, and it is, if you want value for money, that's what you're going to get. And I mean, it does say, again, it's another one, you know, brewed according to German purity law. So I did kind of look at, you know, who's brewing it. This is Perlenbacher. Yeah, I mean, fits the bill. It's not terrible. You might not like it. I don't hate it. Better than that one.
£1.25. What's not
£1.25. You know? I would say would recommend if you like a Weiss beer and you want to throw yourself an Oktoberfest party and you have a little near you and you have a very small budget to work with, 500 mils for £1.25. You can get a few of those bad boys. Percentage wise, it is I don't even know because I don't even think it says. This is how great.
4 or 5, I'd say.
I don't know. It literally does. I don't even think it says. Oh, 5%. 5%. There we go. 5%. It's hidden amongst all the other tiny writing. Not bad for 5%. Get a few of those and you'll be having a happy evening. And I do think actually it would pair quite well with the pretzel. So
yeah, there you go.
I would co-sign that if you really were in a pinch. That's a good one.
Nice.
Back to your Oktoberfest,
so
drinking your Patronus.
So if you're in Munich and Oktoberfest is happening, you can just go and have a little wander. Go and have a look.
It's a completely free entry to get into the ground, and all you
I
pay
thought you
for
had,
is...
I thought you had to have a ticket to get in, but you don't. You can just go in, which I didn't realise. Like, you know, because I've never really looked into it because I wasn't going. But yeah, you can just go. Like, if you want the full experience, try and get a ticket in one of the tents and sit down, and there's food and you get the big steins and it's amazing. But you can just go for a wander and then go find, like, there's food vendors, there's other beer vendors, like it's fun. Go have a go. Like,
yeah, I was told the strategy is like you buy the ticket for the big tent and then you go into the smaller tents. So you kind of like go into the smaller tents, like I think it was kind of like earlier, so that it's a bit less crowded, and then you have your tickets to go to the big tents at those key times to avoid missing out on that, because apparently there's, like, I don't know, you can obviously say you've been there, I've been told there's lots and lots of small tents that are relatively quiet. Maybe it depends on when an Oktoberfest you go.
Yeah, so we went the first
he's never
day.
gone. The person that told me never went for like that first chunk where they do the like tapping of the kegs, like anyway, he's never been there for that because he's like, it's too busy and I don't like people that much. So
yeah, it's literally the first day I was there and it was heaving. Did
you get to see any of that?
No, tapping of the keg was early, so we didn't get to that. We got, and I've seen folk, because one of our guys got invited to go and see a new tapping process,
What you said,
So
I thought you said nude tapping.
new
Like what?
tapping process.
It's like what, in all of my Oktoberfest research, I have never once come across nude tapping, and I was like, maybe it's maybe it's something new. I don't know.
New tapping process. So he went early, and so he saw some of the processions and things. You can see people like there's bands playing, you know, Oompa bands and all of that jazz. You can see all of that, but also on the Sunday morning, we didn't get back on the Sunday morning because that's the day we were leaving, but there was going to be like a historical costume procession.
Amazing.
On the Sunday. Didn't get to that either, but you know, there's so much going on, and obviously it's there for like 2 weeks, so you could, if you're just that way, go and have a little look-see, see what's happening. I saw literally just a fraction of it because we didn't think we were going to go, so we had not planned it appropriately at all, and it was raining, so we literally just found this beer garden that wasn't too busy, got ourselves a table and stayed there.
I did love when you were just like, oh yeah, here I'm at Oktoberfest. I was just like, what? I thought you were going. You're like, wasn't surprise, we've gone.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, totally unplanned. So I did not make the most of I made the most of the time that I was there, but I did not plan it appropriately. Like, if you really want to get the most out of your Oktoberfest situation, plan it better than I did, because I'm like, oh, now I've got to go back and do it properly.
Yeah, I mean, I would quite like to, like, because that's the whole reason it came up, was talking about Oktoberfest, going to this Oktoberfest event locally when it happens, and talking about like, oh, having actually gone to this person had actually gone to Oktoberfest, and they were kind of giving their experience stuff, and I was like, oh, I genuinely would love to go to Oktoberfest, and I was like, just so many people, isn't there? And he's just like, yeah, he's like, I never go for the first week because it is just absolutely, like, go the second week, it's a little bit, I mean, it's still busy, but it's price wise as well, it is cheaper to go towards the end of it, because that's when everything's kind of like died down a little bit, is what you said, but that was like from a few years ago, so maybe that's not even true anymore either, I don't know. But how did you find the actual experience of, like, when you did the Oktoberfest experience elsewhere?
So I actually ended up doing it twice.
Okay.
Because when I first got there, I did it with staff, and then we did it with the tour at the end.
The same place?
Yep. Two very different situations. So when we did it with the staff, there was a lot more people. We weren't as tired as the people who, when I did it the last time, we had been going for a whole week. So
maybe that's good though, is you got to experience it.
Two different ways. Like,
you got to experience it with co-workers where you could be more like, yeah, we're doing this.
So the first time I did it, it was much more like, it felt very big party vibe, and there was lots of people, and we were all kind of getting to know each other and things, and so yeah, it was really good. Second time, it was less of us, and we were all quite tired, and it's much more kind of a mellow, this is the end of our tour, like, we're enjoying, like, finishing off and enjoying. So it was two very the same but very different experiences. But you can't, like, it just food, lots and lots of food.
Was the food good though? It looked like your photos.
Lots of pork, lots of dumplings. And the dessert was really good. So it comes out and it kind of looks a bit like a mess.
And the one thing that don't look it.
No, but the Germans said, just, they were like, it looks messy, but taste it. It's really tasty. Like, don't worry about what it looks like. And basically, it's like chopped up pancakes.
Okay.
And then they kind of put like nuts and fruit and stuff on it. It had sultanas in it, soz.
Not for me then, is it?
And then they kind of rebake it, and then you get like a plum sauce that goes over it.
Interesting.
It was really delicious.
Interesting.
But it looks a bit of a mess.
Is that like, this is going to sound like a really ignorant question, but I'm no stranger to asking the ignorant questions, because why not? If I don't do it, no one will. Is that like specifically a German dessert, or is that really only an Oktoberfest time dessert? I think
it's more of a Bavarian dessert. Like, yeah, more than specifically Oktoberfest specifically. You know, it's that kind of area of Germany rather than...
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I'm looking at my parents coming over soon, and we're like trying to plan trips where to go, and I was kind of like, there's a few different places we could go, and then like the same person was talking about Oktoberfest, recommended saying like, oh yeah, they went from Salzburg to Munich, and they were like, you can get there on train, like it's relatively easy to do. And I know my parents like history and like culture and all that, and I was like, and I mean, I've never gone to either of those places, and I was like, I mean, I wouldn't hate going to Munich. There's far
Public
worse
transport's
places
really
to go.
easy to
Like,
use.
I was just like, there's far worse places to go, especially for beer, than Munich. So my mum, when I told her, she was like, oh yeah, and in Salzburg there's a lot of really cool stuff there, and then obviously in Munich there's a lot of beer, which I know you'll be happy about. And I was like,
Yes,
it's good, it's authentic, they love their beer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I'll keep an eye out for that, and I'll let Rick eat my sultanas.
Yeah, just pick them out, you'll be fine.
Well, that was a good little first-hand experience wrap up. We'll have to maybe next year we'll have to plan it properly and go. Although you'll probably have to go again for work, so
I might have to go again for work.
not have to. I say like have to go.
Oh no, because it's the hop harvest.
Oh,
so.
Can I just go as just like I'll pay my own way. I want to go to a hop harvest. It's amazing. Right. Next one I've got is M&S. So do you want to go first with the M&S?
I didn't get to M&S.
You didn't get to M&S?
No, because now it's in the centre of town and I don't work in the centre of town anymore.
True. Well, I did. And that's where I got my
You got Palena. Did they have anything else?
They did.
So
they had that. They had that Helles. They also had the Weiss beer from Palena.
Yes.
So that was £2.50 for this. Well, £2.50 for both of the, like, each 500 ml. Obviously I chose this one because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to find this anywhere else. It was a really difficult decision between this and the Weiss beer, but I was sort of like, I was thinking of everything that I already had up until this point, and I was kind of like, oh, I feel like Team Lager was maybe like falling behind from what I was getting, what I could remember I'd gotten, and I was like, let me just get another lager, like why not? So that's why I went with that one instead. But then the only other one that I think they had that I could have realistically made the argument you could use, it's very far removed, but like when we talked about those original styles, they did have, regardless of how you feel about this brewery, I'm trying to be very just anything I found. Mikkeller, they had the Berliner Weiss, the Ich bin raspberry, and I've had it. It is like, I've had it like quite a while ago, and it is decent. It's £3.50 for 440 ml. I mean, again, that's very, it's not what you'd think of in terms of Oktoberfest.
Yeah, and it's Berliner Weiss, so it's more Berlin than Munich.
Yeah,
but
I just went with kind of like, if you like really wanted to stretch it, you could really stretch and go that. But yeah, obviously I didn't buy that one. So so yeah, that's what I managed to find at M&S. So that be that. Did you get to Aldi?
I did get to Aldi.
Okay.
I didn't buy anything. One. I didn't buy anything in Aldi because there was German lager, like air quotes. So I just didn't get anything.
Do you mean like Rheinbacher Weiss beer?
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Oh, no. They had this, and they also had the Pilsner version.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw the Pilsner version.
It's Rheinbacher Weiss beer or Rheinbacher Pilsner, and they were both. Oh, actually, they weren't. This one was £1.25 for 500 ml, and the Pilsner was £1.19 for 500 ml. And at this point, after having gone to M&S and everywhere else, I was like, well, Team Weiss beer's losing. I will get this one. And I'm going to crack that open now, but 500 mils each. And again, I thought it was a piss take, like, just to be like, let me get one of these, like a really sad one. However, brewed in accordance with the German purity law. Just putting that out there. I'm still following the rules. Carry on with what you managed to find while I pour this.
That was like, I kind of gave up because I was just like, no, I'm not buying any of that.
This is, I want to give.
And it was big when I was looking. It was big packs. as well.
Oh, I could get singles.
No, see, mine was just packs.
Oh no.
And I was like, I'm not buying a pack of generic German lager. That's not happening.
No. But I said I will have this because I feel like it's probably I feel like I've got to do my due diligence for the people that listen to this podcast, because you might go out and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this one just because it's, you know, I can get it there, but maybe it's not very good. Let's find out. I mean, already it's not particularly like it's not particularly
It's not as hazy as the
hazy,
other one,
no.
was it?
The head looks all right on it though. It's all right.
Yeah.
Smells a bit banana-y, but actually not as aggressive as the Patronus. So maybe you'd appreciate the smell a bit more.
Maybe.
Hilariously,
It tastes the same.
with the exception of it being the way I would describe this. So Patronus, I wouldn't say would be the Weiss beer option at if we're talking in terms of like you go to Oktoberfest and they go, here's our German lager and here's our German Weiss beer. Like, I wouldn't say that's necessarily the Patronus is necessarily what you're going to get at that Oktoberfest party. This, however, I would say probably is, because it's like the Patronus. Now you get that overripe banana taste, but I would actually say it's a little bit more carbonated, not by much, but let me have a sip. Hold on. Bit less mouthfeel, bit more carbonation to it, and it tastes a bit more bland. Like it's a little bit more watered down. When I say bland, I mean like there's flavors there, but you know when you have a beer and you can almost tell that there's like wateriness to it, even though I wouldn't say it's thin, like in the sense of drinking water, there is that watery taste to it, like watered down taste,
less malt, it's less quality, and you can taste it.
But if you were literally like, I am fucking broke and I have an Audi nearby to me, I can only envision that the Pilsner's probably not great.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm happy I went with a Weiss beer and not the Pilsner, although maybe I should have got the Pilsner just to see what a £1.19 fucking Pilsner tastes like. I don't know. You could probably do worse than that. There are some flavors to it, but like, it's certainly not something I would serve to people. Personally, I'd still, so far out of all three that I've had when we're talking about budget shopping, the Patronus weirdly is probably still the one that I'd go with, because it feels like it has the most mouthfeel, the most flavors, and is actually the most, it is the most of what you'd expect from the style. I can drink this all, don't get me wrong. It is just a bit, I don't know, it just feels a bit too carbonated compared to what it should do, I think.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird one.
She says continuing to drink it.
I'm gonna, because maybe it will change, like if I have it. It really doesn't taste like a Weiss beer. It really feels like it is slightly more banana-y lager. I think it would do the job if you really needed it to.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a insert German purity law Weiss beer here. You could probably serve that as one of the German lagers, and I wouldn't question it.
Wow.
I'd go, it's a bit more, I don't know, a bit more banana flavor, but not by much. 5% as well. I mean, it doesn't taste 5%. It tastes like 2.5 or 3%.
Oh,
anyway, that's that. Morrison's.
We don't recommend Aldi.
I mean, if that's your shop near you, I definitely recommend the Weiss beer over the Pilsner, because I can only imagine what the Pilsner tastes like.
So I didn't buy anything in Morrison's because that was the first place I went to, and it didn't have Big Six and it didn't have Weiss beer or Fest, or it didn't have Fest beer or Marzen, so I didn't buy anything. My one does have Franziskaner and Grolsch, £2.30 each. Erdinger alcohol free, £1.65. Kronbacher Pils, £2.20. Vorsteiner, £2.25. One of the more expensive places to get Vorsteiner, I think. Bavaria, £1.50. And Erdinger, £2 or 4 for £3. Four for
so many more options than I
four
had.
for
Four for the price
four
of
for the
three.
price of three. Yeah, so there's a few, but that was about it. And normally I have seen the Schofferhofer, but I didn't see it in the one that I went to.
You had a lot more options than it sounded like I had.
Mm.
I also had what I purchased was a Franziskaner, but you said yours was £2.30. Mine was £2.25.
Oh, see?
Weirdly,
Yeah.
and I do actually. I don't dislike Franziskaner. I'm going to hold on to that because I know my friend will 100% drink that. I'll have something for him to have when he comes over because I know he absolutely loves it. He loves good Weiss beer, so I'm like, that's all yours. I do as well, but it's not my normal go-to. Yes, that was £2.25 or 4 for 3.
Yeah.
And again, it's that thing of like you buy 4, you pay 3, but the one that's free is like the cheapest one.
Yeah.
So I also had the Erdinger alcohol free, which is £1.65 on its own or 4 for 3. But that's the thing is like if you mix and match, the ones that are going to be free are going to be the £1.65 ones. So it's kind of like maybe not making the most. I went with the Franziskaner just because the only other one that was available was the Schofferhofer, the grapefruit Hefeweizen, which again I'd never seen at any Morrison's I'd been to before. We have that £2, 500ml, and it was also on the 4 for 3. I only went with the Franziskaner because I had held off because, as you can tell, the theme here is you can pretty much get that at any of the stores, any of them. Anywhere. So I kind of held off for as long as I could until it became a point that I needed to buy it to maintain the difference of having something new at each shop. So yeah, that was mine. Sainsbury's.
Sainsbury's. I got Weinstefana Hefeweizen. Not a big 6, but a Weiss beer. That was £2 for 500ml. Again, they had Erdinger £1.65 and Franziskaner £1.80.
Well, I'm excited to share the one that I got.
I'm going to crack open my Weinstefana.
I've got my Schneider Weiss.
Oh, nice. Mine did not have
literally
that.
So if anyone listened to a Hoppenweiss episode, we did the Schneider the Hoppenweiss from Schneider Weiss. So this is the original Weiss beer. I've not actually seen this in the Tesco's, the Sainsbury's before. Like I don't go into Sainsbury's that much, but any other time that I had gone in specifically to like find something in particular for like a podcast episode to me, I'd never seen it. So obviously when I saw it, I was like, I knew I liked the Hoppenweiss. Obviously, like I've seen this before. I know that it's reputable. So I'm gonna go with this one because I'm probably not gonna find it in any of the remaining stores that I'm going to next. So I went for it, and this one was, how much was this one? £2 for 500ml. And I was like, actually, so far I think that one and the Palena might actually be like, in terms of what you're getting from that perspective of like the quality and what is going to match the most outside of like Big Six and stuff, like style wise aside, I feel like those two are like the best. So yeah, I got that one. That's the one that I got, and I'm saving that one because again I want to have that when I'm not having £1.19 Weiss beers as a piss take. So the things I do just to make myself laugh is endless. So yeah, I also had the Franziskaner £1.85 for 500ml, the Warsteiner for £1.90, that's 660ml. There's the Erdinger Weiss 500ml, £1.65, and then the same one you got, £2 500ml.
Fun fact, I visited a hop farm while I was in Germany. They grow Hallertau Mittelfrüh, and all of their crop of Hallertau Mittelfrüh goes to Sam Adams.
I didn't realize it was all. So you told me that, but I didn't realize it was literally their entire
crop goes to Sam Adams. Also, they are down the road from Schneider, and they provide hops to Schneider.
Interesting. That is an interesting one.
Because they gave us hops. No, they gave us hops. They gave us beers from local breweries that they provide hops to, and one was a Weiss beer, and the other was the Hopfen Weiss from Schneider.
Yeah, I saw you have that, and I was like, oh, I love that one. It's so good.
It was good. You know how it was so good fresh, because it literally, he was just like, yep, just pop them down the road.
We had them, and it was like, I thought it was really, really good, but then we had them, obviously
they'd been imported to the UK, and we hadn't drunk them straight away. Like this, literally, he'd been like, yep, got them from the brewery the other day.
Yeah, I can only imagine how amazing. Like, oh, I just want to go to all these. I guarantee there probably has to be like some type of tour that would, like, you can go there and they'll take you around. Like, you could probably do one tour that will take you around to a bunch of these different breweries.
Oh yeah,
that's on my list. I want to do that. That's amazing. So finally, we're nearing the end. I've got my last beer to crack open from Asda. Do you want to? Actually, I'll go first so I can crack my beer open.
Yeah.
So what I ended up getting from Asda. So normally Asda is a bit further away, but funnily enough, I managed to go to one because I went on a hen do and we did stand-up paddleboarding. And previously, the last time I went stand-up paddleboarding, there was no real like rules on like shoe requirements or anything. This place was like, footwear preferable, please have footwear. We were like, well, shit, we don't have any of that. And they also didn't have wetsuits provided, so I was like, cool, I'm gonna freeze, I should probably get something. Didn't think it through, should have packed something, didn't. So I was like, we're gonna go to Asda. And then we were gonna go to a shop, and I didn't know what shop. And I'm like, we're going to Asda, and I was like, cool, amazing. And then I was like, sorry guys, gonna detour, need to look at the beer section, because I was like, don't ask questions. These are people that are my friend who's the hen, people she works with, that she's friends with. Like, I didn't know like anyone there, so it was like, really, there's nothing more weird than explaining to people like, I've got to go to the beer section, it's podcast related. And they're like, what? And you're like, my friend, got her name out, I don't know, she's not going to care, but still, I was like, she is not gonna like it. I was like, she'll understand. She was like, don't, it's fine. Don't ask questions. She came with me and walked through the aisles with me. And actually, I don't think the Asda that's near me is very particularly good from my memory. Yeah. This Asda, German beer aside, had some absolute like bangers of stuff in the craft beer section. Yeah, I don't remember what was off the top of my head. I've got photos of it. I'll tell you about it later. But I was like going through and I was like, this is surprising. Like, I was like, I've not seen this one in a supermarket. Like, it was just mind-blowing. Anyways, what I ended up going home with was, I don't even want to attempt to say that because I know I'm just going to trip over it. It's Feldschlossen. I can't.
Feldschlossen. Feldschlossen?
Yeah, it's difficult to say.
Someone's going to tell us we did that wrong.
It's, I do no fucks given, because I couldn't, no. Even if I knew how to say it, reading it out loud, I wouldn't be able to fucking say it. So I'm over it. So it's just called, it's just lager.
Just lager.
But it is also brewed according to the German purity law. It was £1.05.
£1.05
for a 500ml bottle.
The cheapest
and
one.
Look at on the video, look at his
little guy
hat.
with his masses and his hat.
He looks like an American football fan.
He's got two masses. He's doing his little hold it out.
But his little hat just makes me think of like he's some weird like American sports mascot or something like that, and it made me giggle. And I was like, what the fuck does a £1.05 lager taste like? You're gonna find out for you.
You're gonna find out.
What did you select before we run through everything else?
I didn't buy anything in an Asda because, again, I didn't think the selection was very good. Mine had Vorsteiner for £2, Erdinger for £1.90. It's expensive, Erdinger in Asda.
Mine seems to be not so much cheaper.
Grolsch, £2.25. Expensive Grolsch.
Oh boy.
Franciscana £1.85. So
I'm left with Franciscana 500 for £1.85, Erdinger Weiber for £1.90, and Schofferhofer for £2.20. That was all the ones that I found.
Schofferhofer as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if they had some of the other ones because the way it was laid out was like a bit. It was a bit weird. And again, like I feel like there was like a fair amount of Belgian beers. So if we did a Belgian beer episode, like fine. Oh, so many of these places I went into, and I was like, oh, okay, what's in the sort of imported one? Like, what do we have here? And then it was like Belgium, and I was like, fuck's sake. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, here's some German ones. But some of the way the labels are, I'm like, these could just be. I was just like, I'm just gonna guess that they're probably not craft by any means. And I was like, throw that out the window. Just get something that
we were not worried about that this time.
I'm fairly certain though that the common thread between all mine are that they all were brewed using the German purity law. I'm fairly certain, with the exception of maybe like a Schofferhofer or something like that. I don't know, but at least the majority of them, all the ones that were really, really cheap that I got for a piss take, those ones all were brewed according to German purity law, which I guess maybe it's easy for them to do when they're not adding.
Right.
It's the reason it's probably
easy 4 ingredients,
for them to do
mate. It's 4 ingredients. Like, it's not hard.
I mean, it smells.
What does it smell like?
Like lager. like
quotes lager.
Like a German lager. Again, it's a little bit Heineken-y, but a little bit like less skunky. You know how like Heineken can have that like a little bit less than that.
Yeah.
Taste wise, it's not that bad. Like but again,
tastes like lager.
It tastes like I think it just tastes like a standard like Heineken. Like if you like
Euro
Heineken,
lager.
Yeah, like if you like Heineken, you like that. You'll probably like it. I mean, mate, it's £1.05. Like what?
What do you expect?
I didn't expect it to be good. It's probably better than I thought it was going to be. £1 for 500. I thought it was going to be. I have had some fucking rank beers. Like I will shout this one out. I don't even care. I've probably said it before. Lidl, that steampunk one.
Yeah.
I full on was like, no. And I think I took a sip of it or two. I think I gave it 2 or 3 sips because it's like when you watch TV shows, you've got to give it like 2 or 3 times before you make that ultimate decision of like, never watching that again. I think I had like 2 or 3 sips. I don't even think I made it to the 3rd sip. And I was like, immediately no. Like, I was like, no, like immediately no, it's a no. And then I think I gave it to Rick and he was like, this has got like, why did you just give me garbage? Like this is like I was like, this is
you give me garbage.
He anything I give him, if I don't want to drink it, I'll be like, here, you drink it. And he's like, fine. He wouldn't even touch it. Like he was like,
no.
He was like, this is disgusting. Like why? Like we just dumped it.
Why did we spend money on this?
The worst part is, here's the real tea. I've seen people that like drink that and they're like, oh, it's not bad. And I understand everyone's taste buds are different. Like I get it. I'm not judging. Everyone's taste buds are different. I'm not judging, but I am kind of judging. It's hot garbage. It's like literally, that's the one thing that I will stand by. Hot garbage. Like I will. That's my hot take. I feel like I have one hot take every episode. This time it's not even. I would rather. I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating. I swear on my life. I would rather have a fucking carrot cake with all the raisins and the disgusting like pruny textures. Like I would rather eat trail mix with raisins, and I would rather take a cookie that you think is a chocolate chip cookie and boom, it's raisins, than drink that beer. It was fucking bad.
Wow, that is bad.
Terrible. There's nothing worse than that fall if you bite into a cookie and you're like, chocolate chip cookie, and you take a bite in and you go, oh balls, it's fucking raisins. This is hot garbage, get it away. Get this dumpster fire away from me.
Oh god.
I'd rather that.
Oh,
that's how I feel. I said what I said. And this is, I would say, I can at least drink
that's
this.
better.
So I can at least drink this.
There you go.
£1.5. I would rather drink only this exclusively than have to drink that other stuff once. Terrible.
And that's
Anyways.
Tori's hot take for the episode.
Joe's going to probably take out half of that. She's going to be like, we don't need 10 minutes of you ranting about a non-Oktoberfest beer that you got at Lidl that no one wants to even drink. Like,
I think
fine.
we've established, just don't buy beer in Lidl and Aldi. Sorry, Lidl and Aldi.
No, actually.
Oh, no,
hold on,
Lidl was okay, wasn't it? Sorry,
Here's
Lidl
the
was
ones
okay.
I've got. I mean, except for this. We've established don't buy the steampunk one because that is fucking garbage. Okay. But there's like these out of these two. So it's the Rheinbacher, the one that I can't pronounce from Asda, the Warsteiner, and the Patronus. I think the Patronus is probably the best, but then I favour the Weiss beers probably over the.
And was Patronus was from Lidl?
Yes, it was from Lidl. I say I favour the Weiss beers, and that's why I picked that one, and I didn't pick the Rheinbacher. But let's be real, this was not a Weiss beer. Yeah. So I think case closed. It just wasn't.
Right. Anyway,
not terrible.
Which supermarket would you choose to do your Oktoberfest on a budget from if you could only pick one?
Oh, so this is a difficult thing because I would say I would pick the approach of I'd probably just go I'd probably just go M&S and like only do the specific like the Paulinas or something, or maybe I don't know, maybe Sainsbury's, I don't know, but I'd probably say maybe M&S, and I would only do those specific ones. I would just get all the Paulinas, maybe. I don't know. What about you? Which one would you go with?
I would probably go Waitrose because there's more beers there that I want to drink, or Tesco, and I do my big shop in Tesco anyway. So
do your big shop in Tesco anyway?
I do my big shop in Tesco. Yeah.
To be fair, so from a selfish point of view, like if I just wanted to go with actual, like, you know, I don't know, big six breweries, it would be the M&S, and I would only get that. If I wanted variety, as I said before, I probably would also go Tesco because I think that had the most variety. Although I think Sainsbury's pleasantly surprised me.
No, my Sainsbury's wasn't good.
Mine was all right. So I think for me, it was either between Tesco or Sainsbury's. But if I wanted to stay as close to traditional as possible, I'd probably just go M&S and not spread out the variety so much. Do you want to know who has the cheapest Do you want to know who has the cheapest or the most expensive Franziskaner?
Yeah, go on.
So they basically, I've got some stats here because I've devised a spreadsheet because I did. So I can tell you the only ones that didn't have the Franziskaner. Well, actually, I think they did have it. I think it's missing because I think Lidl had it. Yeah, sorry, I put that one in the wrong one. I think Lidl had it. The only ones that didn't have Franziskaner was M&S and Aldi. The cheapest one was Lidl with £1.69 for 500ml. And the most expensive Franziskaner was Morrison's, £2.25. However, they did have the 4 for 3 deal. So there was that, I guess. It was on 4 for 3. So there you go. I thought you might just want a rundown of who had the most expensive
Franziskaner that I'm not going to buy.
It became the theme. Like everywhere I went, I was like, and there's a Franziskaner.
And there's a Franziskaner. You can get Franziskaner. Don't worry, guys. You can get a Franziskaner.
Which one are you most looking forward to trying?
I've opened all of mine because I had so few.
That's true. Which one is your favorite?
I really enjoyed the amber lager from Crumbs. That was really good. And the Weiss beer from Weihenstephaner is solid as always. I still think that if I was planning an Oktoberfest, I would order from an independent.
I was going to say, in conclusion. So basically what I was going to say is, in conclusion, well, this is really great for people that maybe, again, this is targeted for people who budget-wise genuinely cannot afford it. But personally, I think if you can stretch your budget, I'd rather just
And
go
you can
and
shop
get the
around,
real deal.
shop around places like Beers of Europe, beer merchants will have a wide selection of things. They also do deals on boxes.
Last year,
You can
House of Traveling
go-
Madness did a really
House of
good
Traveling
one.
Madness always got a good selection of stuff.
Siren's doing one that's a box
yeah.
that's their 2 Oktoberfest beers, and then there's a few German ones in there, and
Yeah.
it's some of the best ones. Like
I'm slightly sad, and I don't know if after we've put this out whether it will change, but Anspach and Hobday have only put out their Rauch beer this year. They haven't done their Oktoberfest set because I really enjoy their Oktoberfest. I enjoy their Oktoberfest set every year. It looks like they've only got the Rauch beer this year. You know,
it's
needs must.
Bummer.
But you can also, don't forget, you can go to your independent bottle shops, places like a hobby place will pick you out a selection of German beers if you give them your requirements. Like, I think I'd still lean that way.
I think, yeah, I was gonna say I too personally.
But also,
I know like Cloudwater does their Oktoberfest pack.
But also, we are people that like to try lots of different things. You know, if you are a big fan of Franziskaner, you can get yourself a good deal in supermarkets.
Morrison's 4 for 3. Literally, I think like Bray, like there's so many girls like Braybrook do obviously amazing. Like for me, I personally agree. Like even if I just wanted lager, I personally would rather just go to somewhere like Braybrook and get a mixed pack. And I mean, their Marzen, like their smoked beers, just all of it.
Yeah, I know we talked about putting an order in, and I didn't do it the other day, so that might have to happen.
I was like, no, please. Then you're like, but I'm putting it on. I was like, no, Joe, please. And then
don't
like,
twist my arm.
If you are okay,
I want this and this and this and this and this.
I think a lot of breweries as well. I mean, how can we not say it? Like Lost and Grounded, like from the very start, we've already said so much about Lost and Grounded and their lagers, and so many of these breweries as well do Oktoberfest events. A lot of independent bottle shops do events, like I know Phantom does an Oktoberfest, Lost and Grounded have theirs.
Heist are doing one.
I'm trying to think, there was another one. I mean, I know Duration do like Oktober. They
Duration are doing an Oktoberfest. Their Marzen is one of my absolute faves. Time and Tide are doing an Oktoberfest this year. So there's look around.
I think pretty much any brewery you can think of is probably doing an Oktoberfest. I mean, like even when it comes to Weiss beers, like I remember having, maybe it was actually on one of our previous Oktoberfest episodes, Daya had one.
Yeah, that was our first Oktoberfest.
I didn't expect Daya to do such an like, not that I didn't expect, like Daya make very good quality beers, but like I always know them for like hoppy, hazy, that type of thing. And I was sort of like, when I saw it in a bottle, I was like, this is interesting. And it was fucking phenomenal. Like it was really so good. So I think the bottom line is like, if you're in a pinch, a supermarket will do. You can find things, obviously, as we've demonstrated, especially depending on how loose you want to make your guidelines. It'll do the job. It'll save you money. Will it be the best quality? Maybe, maybe not, depending on your taste buds. Really look at your favorite breweries, look at your favorite bottle shops. I mean, look to do group orders. If you want to save money, again, look to do group orders. So that would still be my way to go. So
there you go. Happy Oktoberfest, everybody.
If you want to tell us what your favorite supermarket, if you've ever tried any of these £1 ones, like let us know how good or bad you found it. How wildly off am I about the £1 5p lager? Like, feel free to share your Oktoberfest stories and your favorite Oktoberfest beers with us. Joe, if people want to talk to you about that, where can they find you?
If you want to come talk to me, I am at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning, and we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Pinterest. We've also got a website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and an email address where you can get hold of me, which is lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. If you want to talk to the lovely Tori, where can they get hold of you?
Yeah,
if you about your £1 and 5p lager.
It's starting to get very bitter as well.
Oh no.
If you want to talk to me about some good options, what's available in your supermarkets that you'd be impressed for people to
give us some
know were there
recommendations.
I mean, I still probably will I don't really buy a lot from supermarkets, but like if you found something, if you spotted something in the wild in a supermarket that you're like, oh, surprising that you found that there, like, what is it? Tell me what it was, or tell me what bottle shops have some really good Oktoberfest. This time of year it gets expensive. I like pumpkin beers, I like Oktoberfest beers, and then very quickly we get into the Christmas beers. So this half of the year, very expensive. If you've got any recommendations of where I can go, you can find me on Instagram, adventures_in_hoptimism. I've got my adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com. TikTok, I don't really go on that much, to be honest, but you can find me on there as well. Haven't updated my blog in a while, but you can get to that from my Instagram if you want to look at old posts. And I'm sure I'll probably, as things wind down and it gets too cold to go outside, I'm sure I'll probably start posting there even more. And then, if you want to email both of us, really, I'll probably be the first point of contact that picks it up, but you can get to us at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com.
And you can find the podcast on YouTube as A Woman's Brew, and you can find it on Instagram as A Woman's Brew as well. Come find us in all the places.
Cool.
So
on that note, I'm going to go drink the rest of this one.
Happy Oktoberfest.
Happy Oktoberfest.
Prost.